It seems like every startup in recruitment technology wants to disrupt the resume. And you hear the same statistics recited about how often resumes contain inaccuracies or falsehoods. And then you have the high-profile cases of fake credentials on resumes and people getting fired as a result. But what all this obscures is that the problem with resumes runs much deeper than the fact that they're inaccurate. Even if an HR fairy could somehow wave a magic wand and remove all the falsehoods from resumes, we'd still be stuck with a tool that's poorly designed to help inform employee selection decisions. Think about what you get from a resume. It contains summary information about education and a list of job experience. But we know all the data show that education and years of experience are two of the weaker signals when it comes to predicting future job success. Research shows educational pedigree doesn't predict job success very well, and it's also highly correlated with socioeconomic status. To be clear, no one's saying education isn't important, but many of the savviest employers, so Apple, Tesla, Google, and others, have recently dropped degree requirements for many of their roles because it's bad for diversity and it's just too weak of a signal for job success. Aside from education, a resume is mostly just a list of previous job experience. I talked in a prior video about how experience is also a weak signal for most roles. And putting job history front and center as a resume does exacerbates the misplaced emphasis that many employers have on using experience as a proxy for employability. It's particularly harmful to young people, early career job seekers, and to minorities who are historically underrepresented in the labor market. And this is one of the reasons why the unemployment rate for under 25-year-olds and for minorities is 2 to 3 times the national average. Resumes also introduce bias into the hiring process. Research has demonstrated this to be true over and over again. In one study, researchers sent out thousands of identical resumes to job openings and tracked callback rates. They found that when they changed only the names on the resumes, from white-sounding names like Greg to a stereotypically black-sounding name like Jamal, the callback rate went down 33%. It speaks to the powerful impact of unconscious bias in how we form an image of an ideal candidate. We can't even get past the first line of a resume without bias creeping in. The bias problem is why some companies are adopting AI-based resume reading technology to try to take the humans out of it. But AI can't fix the root of the problem with resumes, which is that they amount to a collection of weak signals. This is a classic garbage in, garbage out scenario. It's why intelligent resume parsing, to me, is an oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp. The problems with resumes are a feature, not a bug. They privilege things that we know don't work well, and they're also antithetical to diversity efforts. The answer is to de-emphasize resumes in the evaluation process and replace them with better inputs that can be objectively measured through things like assessments and structured interviews.